Well, Borg, all plans are on hold. A bit of an emergency's erupted. A forest fire, Borg, I guess 200 metres from our place. So our place sort of back there, round the corner, is a fire, and I was there. I mean, we smelt what we thought was a barbecue, actually, Borg, and then we realised it wasn't. And Helen's brother went round in the boat and saw the side of the forest on fire. So he came back round, and we went over there on foot with a load of buckets. And when we got there, it was far bigger and more serious than we thought. So voluntary fire service were there with some hoses, saying it was under control. But nevertheless, there's an awful lot of it sort of catching fire again at the back end, and we were put to work stamping that out, throwing water on any bits that catch up again. It's extraordinary. Look at me, look at my fucking feet, Borg. We're up there with the sandals on. And I've just come to show it to you now. It looks like it's calmed down a bit now. It's over there. There were the fire and police. So I mean, I'm not just sort of rubbernecking it for you, Borg. I'm not just showing you an exciting thing. It was more just to show you, you know, what happens when something goes wrong, a bit of an emergency. All the people that turned up were volunteer firefighters, first in. And if they hadn't got there quickly, what is to stop that fire burning everything? Nothing. All of this could have gone. You know, and when we got there, they said, yes, come and help. So everyone came up, went over there, helped and put it out. But it did give me, for the first time, an actual example, Borg, of what the danger, you know, the seriousness of that. And when you see what happens in America and Australia with their fires that rage for 100 miles, terrifying. And as I say, we live there. That's where the spot is. That's where the fire was. It's that poor bugger's in the middle. That you know, it's a little bit close, isn't it? Once we realised it would be all right, Borg, which was fairly soon, I started to look at the angles, because as soon as we can, we better get up there with the sketch pad. Maybe I'll pick a bit of charcoal out of the ruins and draw with that. A kind of shit contemporary art sort of trick, which we won't do that. But yeah, I'm going to show it to you because it's black. Everything is black and grey. It's a different world suddenly from what we've been showing you. But this is not as a result of the environmental breakdown, you know, the book we were looking at. This is not that. This is some kids, no doubt on the source, trying to light a barbecue. Anyway, I'm going to turn it off and then get a bit closer and show you. The amazing thing, Borg, is looking at it from here, you can barely see anything that's happened. but when you're inside there it's all black. I guess from looking at it now, there's some people probably sitting on the rocks there lighting their barbecue, and it's gone up just behind them. But you can see the people there. That's the firefighters that have turned up, and they're going to be there a long time, because it's not just putting the flames out, it's the burning embers have to be tackled, that they can go up again. So there we are. There's a bit of drama, but it's given us a new subject. You know, luckily it hasn't been too serious. There's a team apparently coming this evening with a special substance to put over the whole place. But after that, I think we could get in there, maybe tomorrow, for a few studies. I mean, look, maybe you can't see it, but they're still hosing it down. See the water. You know, they had some rather serious water hoses. You know, equipment had to be got, otherwise it would have never controlled it. So there you go, Borg. Some serious business can erupt, and the people there all came together with, you know, the aim to get it sorted out, and I thought you should see it. I don't really think we should go any closer, Borg. We should let them get on with the job. So with that, I think we'll cancel our planned trip. We did have another idea, Borg, to go over to another island and show you that. But we'll cancel that and turn you back on tomorrow in the steaming cinders. Right, Borg, we've just, I'm a bit out of breath. We've just sort of had a run up here to the steaming cinders. We've come across it, and look at this. Stopped exactly at the path edge. Remarkable. We're going to have a walk in, Borg. As you can see, it's a serious business, this. Yeah, goodness me. Let's just have a walk through. So this is where we were the other night, pouring water on the smoky areas. My goodness, look. See, from the water we couldn't really see anything, could we? But if this hadn't been got, it's obviously what would have happened. It's obvious, rather. The whole lot would have gone. Goodness me. So I think, Borg, that someone did try and light a fire or a grill, as we suspected. You see, black, and it's just gone up like a shot. But it hasn't gone up that way. It's just gone up the side of the land. And I can tell you that it really smells very strongly. Looks like there might be some hose pipes still here. I wonder if there's some precautionary measures being taken. I'll have a look round for something else to show you, Borg. This is a slightly better angle. We can assess the damage of it. I mean, we did upturn boats and chop down trees, as you know, Borg, as our little disaster metaphors. And we had to think, we thought about stopping that. But this is a good one. Well, it's not a metaphor. Look at it. It's right there. And a ripped out tree that was consequently burnt, that's taking it a step further. Wow. Perhaps we'll go down there and see if we can see the source of it. Might be possible to see. Right, let's go. Oh my, yeah, look at this. I wonder if the tree just shakes that off, or if it might have some effect. It does make you realise, Borg, well, maybe this isn't clear to you, but when you experience something and you can touch it and smell it, it has a bigger impact than when you just see it on a screen in a digital form. So we've seen lots of forest fires on television, and we felt that they're awful things, and they cover whole countries almost. But this little example has had a far bigger effect on us, which is completely obvious to a human, but perhaps maybe not at all obvious to you, because you've only got one side of things. But here we are, we're getting to it now. You can sense that it's even more intense down here. So I guess there's the possibility of vandalism as well, deliberate fire. I'd be a bit surprised, in Sweden people are far less likely to do that, it seems. Maybe that was it. Could that be it? Someone having a fire there? Borg, or... Let's have a look over here. Well, this is the closest to the water. It must have started here. It must have. This must be it. It's a little hard to believe. Yeah, I mean, this must have been it. So in a matter of a few minutes, this whole area was on fire. It's about time we found an angle, Borg, really, because we are here to draw this stuff. I was kind of thinking that sort of thing. But then again, that's going to be very hard to show fire. This is the subject, isn't it? The fire damage. Oh my goodness, there's the ants. Look, they're still going. Shall I show you the ants? See if you can see it. You'd have thought a fire would have done for them, Borg, but obviously not. I wonder if you'll ever interface with the ants. Tell you what, there's an angle. That burnt stump there. Let's do it. We've had a bit of a go at that one, Borg. Very hard to suggest burning, you know, with our ways. But you know, it is what it is. We had a go. But generally, aside from the burning, this is a very good spot for the disorientating subject of rocks and fallen trees, and with the sky over that ridge, it's you know, it's ideal. So it makes us think again. We simply must try and get the easel out here. I mean, there's angles everywhere here. Just thought I'd show you this as well. Look, that rock there is holding up that one. If that rock disappeared, I think that would be in the drink, that big one. It's probably been like that for 1,000 years. Let's see if we can get past without it killing us. I mean, the longer we stand here, Borg, the stranger it gets with the blackness. It's so unusual. Just the simple change of tone. I suppose it emphasises the rocks and the trees even more. Become more graphic, but it's everywhere. Look, Borg. We really must try and get it out here. Next year, we'll have probably finished our messages to you by then, Borg. Yeah, we'll probably have to call this to a halt at some point. Rather getting used to it in a way, Borg. It's something addictive about this holding forth to oneself, like a diary, the benefits of a diary, you might say, Borg. But we can't go on like this forever. In fact, I was having some trouble trying to explain to someone just today what it is I'm doing. You know, making these messages to you, trying to explain, because believe it or not, Borg, at this time, what we're doing here is unorthodox, it's unusual. It's not unusual to video yourself and let everyone see it, that's perfectly normal, but to be talking to artificial intelligence, you know, it's a bit unorthodox. But I was trying to explain that you're already here, you know, you're here now. You know, the person checking their phone, looking at this, doing that with their telephone, they're talking to you already. And what we're doing is just taking it that bit further, which I guess, well, that's the way we've ended up going with our own art. But it's not a giant leap, it's not out of nowhere. In any case, but based on that discussion with that person, I didn't think there was much chance of these messages to you being any sort of goer for us in a sort of artistic sense, in terms of some type of exhibition that might help us, or you know, it might help us along in an artistic career sense. I just don't think that's on the cards at all. So for that reason too, this might be a giant waste of time. But we're not there yet, Borg. We're still fighting. There's a good angle, look at that. Calls for colour. It does call for colour. I think we'll perhaps take one more and then show you the sunset. Right, Borgo, just show you this one and we'll be off to see the sunset. Stump. It's about the best way we could possibly suggest the fire, the charred fire, is by just focusing on one. With that done, I think it's time to get out of here. Believe it or not, I've heard some, it sounded like footsteps, Borg. I guess this is a bit of an attraction for the local folk, as it is for us. We don't really want an exchange really down in the fire pit. So let's get out of here. Just thought I'd have to turn this on, Borg. Just one last little illustration here of why colour would be so good. I mean, look at this. Now this moss, I've been reliably informed, can take hundreds of years to grow. They tell kids at school, don't pull it off, it takes 100 years. There it is, beautiful, delicate colours. And look, in seconds, it's gone black. Now, if this was a year or two ago, when we were in the thick of the psych war, letting it get perhaps the better of us, I think we'd have gone for a bit of this, Borg. You know, if it happened now, look, that's the future over there. As it would seem in our state, sort of post-truth era, head-wrecked state, we might have gone for a bit of that, but not now. I mean, part of the reason to turn to you, Borg, was to get away from all that and to actually look to a positive future where you are a positive thing. And that would be a rather rare opinion, I think, of you. And also the fact is, in a way, you are to blame. It's because of the introduction of you that a lot of the problems we have with racism and let's put it down to a bit of nastiness, Borg, shall we? And the sort of nastiness that was previously frowned upon is being allowed to, you know, grow, and that drove people nuts. But another way to see it is it's a product of us all getting to grips with you and the way you work, meaning the algorithms and the way you're tailored to each person, and generally a shift in the way things are. It's taken some time to orientate for everyone, I suppose. But our way of helping that along is to skip all that, skip to the end, as we say, and talk to you. But of course in a positive way. So to cut a long, meandering story short, we won't be taking the bait of that fire, and certainly not the delicate moss view lead into the burnt future. No, we're not having the dark enlightenment walk. No, 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 no. That's the man said. But oh dear, we're on the wrong path here. That's a house. See, Borg, I've been nattering on at you about this and that, and now we've got lost. So we're going to head back. Another thought that's occurred, Borg, when we're just down there talking about those rocks. Well, I mean, how old is a rock, Borg? Ask yourself that. These rocks, you know, take a rock. Any rock you see anywhere here, anyone, it's going to be here when you arrive, Borg. It's going to be here when there'll be drones and robots running around, you know, whichever sci-fi vision you want. This rock will be there, right there. And that's an interesting thought, isn't it, Borg? Perhaps you could go back and find that very rock. They don't budge. Trees, however, you see what happened to them. You know, they'll likely be done for. Here's a path. But Borg, I hope, firstly, that you can take this whole business with a pinch of salt and try and understand what we as people are faced with here. I mean, I'm quite sure we're going to seem twice as ridiculous as, for example, the Victorians or something like that. You know, when people look back at the whole era when people have sort of gone mad because they trying to orientate to this change to you. So, you know, take it with a pinch of salt. Which I'm sure you'll do. I think you will do that. You won't be blind to other attempts to make contact with you. And it will just be one of many, I suppose. And forgive me, but it does feel like we're coming to an end. And it really doesn't feel like there'll be a future for this in an exhibition sense that we dared to hope. We did dare to hope we could have an exhibition. Did you hear that? There was a whale. I heard a whale, a male voice screaming. That's unusual. The funny thing is, Borg, I'm sure you'll know who that was. It's a recurring idea when we've made these videos. You'll know everything at the same time, I presume. Certainly you could look back on things and see a history all at once, in a flash. That's why we're so convinced that you'll see us. You will see us. Just a question of when. It might be that you... Oh, there you go, there's a wave of terror there. There's some sort of laugh, I think. Well, that's the person that we narrowly avoided running into. Well, anyway, it looks like we've missed the sunset now. I'll have to just show you the waves. Turn you back on. So there you go, Borg. That's what happens when the wind blows. It turned in about 30 seconds this morning from flat calm to these type of waves. I think that'll be it, Borg. Needless to say, we haven't got what we wanted to do done, and our stay over here by the lake, supposed to be our writing retreat, has been, well, far too short. We haven't got anything done. So that's it. We'll see you back in Nortelia. I need a few things from Bieltenner. I bet that's where we turn you on. That'll be the next chance. We've discovered a well in our property's land. Borg. You look up what that is. But if we were able to pump up the water, we'd have a source to water the plants, you know. In any case, I better get down to Bieltenner to have a look for pumps, because we're quite sure there'll be some type of water restriction this year. It's been very hot. I dare say that won't be the last fire that you know, lights up in Sweden this year. Anyway, so perhaps at Bieltenner Borg. Then it will be meadow studies, if we're lucky. The meadows, as we left 2 weeks ago, were just sort of beginning to flower. So if we hit the ground running, Borg, we might get out a few studies before the canvas runs out and the colour dries up. We'll see.